What's up, fight fans? Minseo here, and today we are shifting gears to talk about the absolute empire that is Conor McGregor's outside business. We all know he is making his highly anticipated return to the UFC octagon, but what he is doing outside the cage is just as groundbreaking. In his latest interview, Conor completely pulled back the curtain on some massive cross-promotional blockbusters. He revealed a staggering $200 million offer that was rejected by an undefeated boxing legend. He dropped a massive bombshell about bare-knuckle fighting championship securing a major television deal with Fox. And he did not hold back when critiquing how the UFC is currently promoting its own blockbuster events. If you want to know how the biggest draw in combat sports is planning to completely take over the industry, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and let's get right into it. Let's start with the absolute biggest bombshell of the interview. Conor McGregor revealed that he personally offered boxing superstar Terrence "Bud" Crawford an absolute mountain of money. We're talking about a massive two-fight, cross-promotional deal worth an astonishing $200 million. The plan, backed by Saudi figure Turki Al-Sheikh, was incredibly straightforward. The first bout would take place under mixed martial arts rules inside the cage, and the second bout would take place under traditional boxing rules inside the squared circle. Conor said he personally got on the phone with Crawford to pitch the idea, offering him hundreds of millions of dollars to test his skills. It would have been one of the highest-grossing crossover events in the history of combat sports, completely dwarfing the numbers from the historic Floyd-Mayweather fight. But things didn't go according to plan. Despite the insane $200 million payday sitting right there on the table, Terrence Crawford completely walked away. According to Conor, Bud's reasoning was incredibly simple. He did not want to deal with mixed martial arts kicks. Conor laughed it off, explaining that Crawford told him directly on the phone, "I don't want to be kicked by you." Conor expressed genuine shock that a man with Crawford's combat pedigree, especially considering his background in high school wrestling, would pass up such a massive test of his overall fighting ability. The rejection clearly struck a nerve with the Irishman, who expressed his frustration at modern boxers staying protected inside their own bubbles. Conor stated that true combatants should always want to test themselves across all disciplines, leaving the MMA community wondering what could have been if Crawford had just accepted the ultimate challenge. The friction between Conor and Crawford actually goes a bit deeper than just a rejected contract. The animosity really started heating up after Crawford publicly criticized Ilia Topuria following Topuria's recent defeat. Conor felt that Crawford's comments were incredibly distasteful, especially since Crawford was sitting safely ringside acting as a spectator. Conor compared it to a past run-in he had at the MTV Video Music Awards, arguing that if you are a guest sitting ringside at an event, you absolutely should not be disrespecting the athletes putting their lives on the line inside the cage. He pointed out that Topuria wasn't just beaten in a pure boxing match, he was taken out by brutal elbows, ground and pound, and dynamic kicks. Conor ultimately stepped in as the daddy of the game to defend MMA fighters against boxing purists who refuse to actually cross over. Moving away from boxing crossover drama, Conor is officially taking over the bare-knuckle world. As a part owner of the bare-knuckle fighting championship, McGregor is not just a silent investor, he's the ultimate promotional engine. Conor openly expressed a massive yearning to eventually test himself in bare-knuckle combat once his UFC obligations are completely finished. He heavily criticized modern fighters who hide behind massive gloves and padded records, stating he would slap the head off any of them in a pure bare-knuckle street fight. By injecting his massive star power, massive financial backing, and relentless promotional energy into BKFC, Conor has legitimized the promotion in the eyes of hardcore fight fans. He isn't just trying to make a quick buck, he genuinely believes that bare-knuckle fighting is the truest, rawest form of human combat currently available on the market. Because of Conor's massive influence, BKFC is officially going mainstream. During the interview, Conor dropped an absolute exclusive bombshell that caught everyone off guard. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship has officially signed a television deal with Fox. Up until this point, BKFC has been restricted mostly to streaming platforms like DAZN and Triller TV. But securing a partnership with a massive broadcast giant like Fox is an absolute game-changer for the promotion's visibility. Conor excitedly announced the deal live on the air, knowing exactly how much this elevates the brand. With Fox's massive reach across the United States, including potential slots on FS1 or Tubi, BKFC is now positioned to capture millions of casual sports fans who have never witnessed the brutal intensity of bare-knuckle boxing. Conor McGregor has completely shifted the promotional landscape with one single signature. With a massive Fox deal officially secured, Conor McGregor already has his eyes set on the ultimate prize, Las Vegas. He praised the tremendous success BKFC has recently experienced in major markets like Philadelphia and New Jersey, filling up massive arenas and proving that the demand for the sport is incredibly real. But Conor made it absolutely clear that the next major frontier for the promotion is the fight capital of the world. He is actively pushing the Nevada State Athletic Commission and local authorities to bring a massive bare-knuckle fighting championship event directly to the Las Vegas Strip. Establishing a solid footprint in Vegas would cement BKFC as a top-tier combat sports organization, directly competing with the UFC in their own backyard. Conor is building an absolute juggernaut, and he won't stop until they take over the desert. Despite his deep roots in the UFC, Conor wasn't afraid to heavily critique how his current bosses are doing business. When asked about the recent, visually stunning Noche UFC event at the Las Vegas Sphere, Conor gave a very mixed review. While he praised the incredible production value and the massive hurdles the team overcame to put on the show, he felt the UFC completely dropped the ball when it came to promoting their own athletes. He noticed that the broadcast heavily focused on outside celebrities, boxers, and influencers, completely ignoring the UFC luminaries who were sitting in the crowd. Conor argued that the promotion missed a massive opportunity to build up their next generation of stars by forcing face-offs and highlighting their own fighters. For a master promoter like Conor, missing out on basic storytelling is an absolute cardinal sin. Conor took his critique of the UFC's current business model a step further by pointing out their massive financial success. He correctly noted that the UFC is the highest performing and most profitable entity under the massive TKO Group umbrella, bringing in well over $1 billion in pure cash profit. Because they are the ultimate bread and butter of the corporation, Conor believes they need to completely break the bank on every single event. He argued that the UFC should feature live music, spectacular walkouts, and Super Bowl-level production for every single pay-per-view, not just once every 3 years for a special occasion. He wants the company to reinvest those massive profits back into the show to create an unmatched weekly spectacle. He knows exactly how much money the UFC is printing, and he wants the fans to actually see it. To wrap it all up, Conor's final motivation for this fight is entirely selfless. For his last bout, he didn't allow his wife or children to be present in the arena, wanting to maintain an isolated, dark mindset. But for July 11th in Las Vegas, he plans to bring the entire McGregor clan cageside. He wants his older children to see firsthand what can be achieved when you dedicate your entire heart, mind, and soul to a singular, monumental task. He is fighting to inspire them, to thank the fans who stayed loyal through his darkest hours, and to prove that a man can reinvent himself no matter how far he falls. What do you think of Conor's spiritual turnaround? Let me know in the comments, subscribe to Mincio MMA, and I'll see you next time.